Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, Monday night Zoom edition. And over the weekend, we did have a dip in Bitcoin and the market overall, but we're still above 20,500. Yes, 20,600, but we did not hold 21K for Bitcoin, so that's a bit disappointing. 1,600 did not hold for Ethereum either, but we're still in the high to mid 15s on that. So let's go ahead and go to the charts. Okay, you should be seeing my day chart, Bitcoin.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so as we see here on the closes, red and red over the weekend. Actually, this was today because we just closed a few minutes ago. Uh, so we're down a bit on Bitcoin, but well above 20K. If we lose this, I think we're down into the 19s for a while. We do have some pretty good support right about here at 20,100. If we lose that, actually, that's what I meant. We're in danger of going down here to 19.1. So we'll see what happens there. On Ethereum, again, we've been in this range since June, between 1,000 and 1980. We're a little above the middle now, 1572 at the moment, but we have had 3 straight red closing days on Ethereum. News-wise, I did a quick look. I didn't see anything jarring. There were some issues regarding FTX and Binance selling their stake in their FTT token, which I thought would cause more mischief than it did. But that may have had something to do with the drop over the weekend and earlier today. But it's not a significant drop that looks like it's attributable to a news event. Could just be the usual ebb and flow. So, any comments or questions on Ethereum, Bitcoin, or the market overall? Okay.
Well, do you think it might go down further with when people find more people find out about the FTX situation?
Well, that was on Twitter pretty, prominently. So people who look for that kind of information are already aware of it.
Oh, good.
I don't think that, just looking real quick. FTT only dropped, well, that's just since the close. Let's look at that chart real quick. So it did drop, in 1 week. That got it. It dropped 18%. So it's still dipping a bit more. It could drop some more. Now, whether that'll affect the overall market, that's hard to say. It makes sense that FTT would drop if Binance offloaded a lot of it, but it's still got a little support. I'll dip below support at $22, but yeah, I think anybody who's dumped it for this reason probably, anybody who was going to has probably done that already. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm all messed up here. All right. Anything else on Bitcoin or Ethereum before we jump over to Altcoin Alert? Okay. All right, here we are on Altcoin Alert. I'm on the altcoin radar page. Easy mode is off. I've got all the information. I do my first sort usually based on the AA score. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this. I was looking at this about an hour ago. Usually I look in the morning and in the afternoon. It's my routine with this. So Nano is up, ETC, Ethereum Classic has a bullish score of 78.4. It's bearish on the other columns. So AA is telling us it's got a 78.4% chance of going up 3% or more in the next 48 to 72 hours. So this score sort of a contrarian measurement. ETC's beaten down and AA expects it to come back. So that's why you see the disparity between the AA score and then these other values here, the sentiment score and the Elder Impulse. Sentiment is the Twitter data, what people are talking about online, and the Elder Impulse is, these are technical indicators. So I've got the ETC chart up, so I'm gonna go ahead and check that out. Let's go to the hour chart first, see what's going on in the bigger picture. Since Wednesday, a lot of coins moved up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then dropped. It's up 20%. Gave back about half of that over the weekend. On the 5-minute chart, there was a dip here in market overall in the mid-afternoon, around 3:30 for me, and then a pretty good bounce from that. We didn't really get a classic dip sequence. It was more like what they call a dead cat bounce, just like a V shape, boing, boing, like that. So in these situations, when I'm not really getting the dip sequence I like, and I see a cross over the bottom of the Bollinger Band, but all my indicators here are in agreement. I've got volume, the cycle, which is the stochastic indicator, momentum indicator, and the money flow index all showing up. I think that's a pretty good entry. Now, there's always a chance it could dip again, so you have to be aware of that. Maybe you go in half your usual amount and be ready to buy another position down here, a ladder buy or dollar cost average. But in this situation, had you jumped in at this point, you'd be up over 1% already. So if you're on 10x leverage, that's a 10% move. Spot trade, if you pile up 1% and 2% wins, over time your balance will grow considerably. So we're too late for that move, though. It's already at the SMA line, this midline here between the Bollinger Bands. So where do we get a good entry here? We've got support here and here on the 5-minute chart, right around 2460. So just show you guys this. So I've got this yellow line here. See where the touch is down, touches here. I want to move that up a little bit. Maybe, 2460. That would be a good entry if it dips back. So that would be your price entry. If you're not sure, if you're new to trading and you don't really know how to, find support and resistance, I've got this tool here, support and resistance with breaks, levels with breaks by Lux Algo. And you see it'll identify them for you. The blue lines are the support and the red lines are the resistance. So you see these support lines kind of lining up here, 2451 here, 2439 here. So in this vicinity is where I'd want to get back into this ETC trade. No guarantees and definitely not financial advice, but based on support and resistance, that's where I would look to get in. Now, as you seasoned veterans know, I like to do evil alerts on my indicators on the 15-minute chart. This is my new setup. I'm testing these three, momentum, stochastic, and this VAPI. But the MFI I've used pretty consistently for over a year now. And a couple of the other things I'm going to show you I've used for quite a while as well. So there's a couple of ways we can go about this. If we want to catch a dip and a recovery, we can do that by setting an alert on the MFI. But again, you can see these support areas right here. You may not even need to do anything with the indicators. You could just send an alert here. Say $25, $24.75, something like that. Then I like to put my information source, AA score, and you're good to go. But I digress. Let's look at the MFI. So had we done our usual MFI alert, which is a dip below the 20 value, which is the oversold area, and a recovery crossing up on the 20 value. This would have been a good entry. This one, not so much. This one, not bad. We got in here. Top of the Bollinger Bands, not quite 1%, not great. This one's quite a bit better. 1.7%, we like that. This one here dipped below the 20 and came back and went, 3.4%. So that's a pretty good day trade. A lot of times when these 15-minute alerts go off, you can go over to your 5-minute chart and see if you're in a 1, 2, 3 dip sequence. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Oh, and how you do that alert, right click in the MFI, crossing up. The value, the 20 value is considered oversold. Once per bar close, that's important. And AA score. That's how I do that. So that's the MFI alert. Other indicators I like to use are divergence and the super trend. Look at divergence first, actually. This is divergence for many indicators, version 4. This is more advanced. If you're new to trading, I didn't do anything with divergence till I'd been trading for over a year. So, but it's simply a disagreement between the indicators and the price action. There is some, it's sort of like finding a dip sequence, and it has some predictive ability. 55, 60% has been my experience, a little better in a bull market. But in this particular indicator, which you can download from TradingView here, indicators, divergence, it's this one here, version 4 by Lonesome. Be advised, this one does repaint, which means it might move over to the right if the position improves. But it's still useful, I think. So the divergence alerts on the positive side did okay here. Yeah, it's similar to what we looked at with the MFI, and there's some overlap with these. 1.4%. This one here didn't do very well. Maybe you make an additional purchase here, and you get out here. Your first position breaks even. Your second one makes about 5%. That's a pretty good trade. But if you don't take that one, this one would have been a good entry. And this one as well, and this one as well. So,
CJ.
Yeah.
So on the divergence flags, you've got 4s and 2s and 1s and whatever. So if you've got a larger number or a larger number of divergences happening, does that give greater weight to the whole thing, or is it just doesn't matter?
I can't say I've objectively tested that, but anecdotally, no. Like here's an example. We have a divergence with the momentum indicator, so it would have triggered on this alert on this this candle here, and the next candle then goes up pretty aggressively. So I probably would have gotten in the middle here somewhere. Goes up against me first, and then really nice move, 6% down. Where this one here has four indicators listed, and well, it only goes down about 3%. So both of those are actually good trades, but as you saw the singular momentum did even better than the four, this group of 4 up here. So it's, if you want to test that, let me know. I haven't, like I said, I haven't really objectively tested it, but
is there anything to the amount of the amount of slant as far as the divergence goes?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anyone address that specifically. A lot of crypto enthusiasts or traders, talk about divergence. You get a lot of you guys may know Terry Oliver in the group, this privacy smurf. He likes divergence a lot, uses a lot in his trading. He sort of encouraged me to investigate it more. So when I found this indicator that had all of them on the same one, then I was excited about that, and I've been using it ever since.
He says that divergences are prescient, as in foretelling.
Yeah, I use the word predictive, but the same concept. So they can be, but not always. So like this one here didn't really help us. It went down, and mostly down. So no indicator is even close to perfect. But if you can get 60% or so, and of those 60% wins, the wins are higher than the losses. If you're using stop losses, then that'll work out pretty well for you over time. Okay. Any other questions about divergence before we move on to the last indicator, super trend? Okay. And this is a super trend. I've modified it a bit. My ATR period is 5, multiplier is 3. I'm using the HLC3. So, but I've only been using super trend for about a month in this capacity. And when I use it, I'm looking for all 3 out of 4 of these indicators to confirm. So let's say on this one, we got a buy signal. MFI is up. Let's see, let me put my vertical line here to help a little bit. So the MFI is up, the momentum is up, the stochastic is up, and the volume is up. So everything's a go. So if I get in here, goes up briefly, then drops, then up again, about 1.3%. And then the sell goes off, and I'm in a negative. But what I've been doing lately is once my position gets over 1% or so, I go ahead and put a stop loss at break even, slightly above break even. So that way, if something does this, I at least break even on a small move. So yeah, and you may be thinking, okay, where do I get out? And that's that's a tough one. I look for resistance usually to get out, but sometimes it doesn't go that far. Like I'm seeing resistance here on the 15-minute chart, right about 26.36. But had I waited for that to get out on this move, I'd be down like 2.7. I'd be a little about 0.7% down at the moment, which isn't terrible. It still might bounce up and get out there, but like I said, I like to get that 1% and then break even, so I don't take a big loss. But as far as where I would take an exit, I would be looking at this area here. See all these candles bunched up right here between about 26 and maybe 26.70, somewhere in there is where I would look to get out if I was trading off the 15-minute chart. On the 5-minute chart, I look at this. I include the SMA line, the top of the Bollinger Band as well as potential exits. I look at those and resistance and try to figure out where a good potential exit would be. Okay. Any questions on ETC before we look at another one? All right. Let's do another sort. I like to sort by long-term sentiment and elder impulse daily and see which one of those match up. Long-term sentiment here. Okay, I've got very bullish on sentiment on alpha and bullish on the elder impulse. So both, the Twitter data and the technicals are lining up. Got 72 AA score, not bad. So let's check it out. I thought I had this one on my list. Okay, on the hour, let's see what's been going on with this one. Since Wednesday, nice move up and gave about half of it back. Just under 13 cents at the moment. The 5-minute chart. Similar pattern to what we just saw in ETC. So yeah, we're sitting on the SMA line, not where I want to buy. So we've got support. I'm not going to draw them out like I did. Well, I could use the support indicator. It's got this blue line down here. They match up pretty well, right around 12.5 cents. So this could be your, I'll probably go right about here at 12.7. My price alert. That's long-term sentiment. So that's how I would do that price alert. Okay, but let's go to the indicators on the 15-minute chart. Okay, on divergence, got small moves on most of these. One and a half there. So the last couple divergence alerts did reasonably well. I mean, these two did not. This one did. These two did. These two didn't. You had to endure a dip sequence before it came back. So divergence is an option on this. That would be, and again, you can, I don't think I showed you how to do a divergence alert. Right click on it. You don't want positive divergence, once per bar close, and long-term sentiment, short. Not necessarily short, it's actually a long. Doesn't really matter. If you're not on leverage, then you're gonna all yours are gonna be buy, or you're always gonna be buying long positions. So all right, that's how you do that. And if you want to go the super trend route, the divergence is kind of like finding dip trades, and then super trend is latching onto a presumed or an existing trend. So I'm showing you both dip trading and trend trading. So often people, disagree. I do both. So, and the buys have not done very well. Actually, these last three, I don't think any of them were profitable on the super trend. So I think divergence would be a better way to go on these. Yeah, none of these were profitable. This one was back on Saturday. So that was a pretty good move, 3%. But yeah, I wouldn't use super trend on this. Forgot to look at MFI. So this one, about 1%. That one did not do well, trended down pretty hard until we got out about here, 2.4%. That's a good trade. Another dip below the 20, we're up here. And 1.5%, not bad. Another one here was almost 2%, not bad. And this one, yeah, 1.6. So these are all pretty good on the MFI alert. So right click on here if you want to do that one. Crossing up. Value 20. Once per bar close, and call it whatever you want. So that's how you do that. Any questions on alpha? Okay, I'll do one more on AA and then we'll head over to iCoinPro. Okay, we did the AA score. We did a long-term sentiment sort. Another sort I like is the Elder Impulse. But there's 114 bullish, so that's a lot to choose from. I'm gonna look and see if they match up with the long-term sentiment. We have that with MATIC. I was trading this earlier. We've got a bullish on the Elder Impulse Daily and the long-term sentiment. Let's go ahead and go to MATIC. It's one of my favorites to trade. Okay. So on the hour, since Wednesday, went up 50% and pretty much holding that. Wow, that's amazing. 127. On the 5-minute, yeah, towards the bottom, but not dipping yet. Got 3.6% between the Bollinger Bands, not bad. Trying to show you an example of a 1, 2, 3 dip. This is pretty close. You see I have a squeeze and it bubbles out, but it really only does one dip. I'm usually looking for it to do something like that. Does one dip and comes back, but all the indicators support, a move right, say right about here. The SMA line, you've got over 2%, so that's pretty good trade. If you hang on, you endure this dip, but it comes back pretty strong. So that would have been a pretty good dip trade. All right, let's see. Our support areas. Are kind of stepping up. This would have been a pretty good entry, 115. God, it's only been trading above $1 for a few days now. Kind of hard to think of it that way. So we're pretty close to the 121 now. Might be looking to get in here around 117, between 115 and 117 on a price alert. And then on our indicators on the 15-minute chart, I'm going to go through these pretty quick. On divergence, yeah, the bullish divergences have all done really well. See this one here. 3.5%. This would have been a little better entry. A little faster anyway. 5%. 6%. You get the idea. All these were good. So I'm liking. Actually, I'm going to set one of these now. Add an alert. Positive divergence. Once per bar close. This is an Elder Impulse sort. And I'm good to go for my alert. And if you trade leverage, well, the bearish ones did well too. Yeah, these have all done. This is really moving nicely. Yeah, I'll do that one too. Okay, and then on the super trend, doing pretty well, just because it's been trending up so nicely. It's kind of hard to screw up. Here's 4% there. Another 4%. Yeah, this one did not do well. And the buy one remains to be seen. So the last two look a little uncertain, but the rest of them did pretty well. So I'm liking the divergence a little bit better than the super trend. And the MFI, this one above 20, yeah, eventually in profit. Yeah, they're pretty similar to what I just showed you with divergence, so I'm not going to go through them all. This one did not do well, but it came back eventually. And yeah, so. All right, any questions on MATIC and Altcoin Alert before we go over to iCoinPro?
Yeah, I have a question, CJ. It's not on MATIC, but at the top of your screen, you've already a number of 5 coins that you selected you were going to talk about. How do you get each one of those up there so that you can access them? Do you go in each time to Trading View and a new time into Trading View, or how do you get those up there?
Do you mean this list here or the windows I have?
The windows.
Okay, that's a good question. I've created, this is a layout. This is my new normal layout because I've added these 3 indicators to what used to be CJ's basic layout that you guys saw if you've been with me, for a few months. But to answer Peter's question, I'm just going to go right click here, duplicate. And it's going to bring up the default coin for this layout.
Okay.
So the saved version I have for new normal, you can only save one, is Ethereum. So the Ethereum chart comes up and then I go to whatever I'm really looking at. Let's say it's, it's DOT. So now I've got DOT with that layout, and the 5-minute time frame, which is the default time frame for that layout. So I have done videos on how to do layouts and things like that. It'd be too time consuming to go through it now.
Okay.
But you might want to check that out if you want to do layouts and templates and things like that. So.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right. Okay. The other day trading system I like is iCoinPro, the home of the 1-2-3 dip. Most of you guys should have seen the 1-2-3 dip training that iCoinPro has. I do have permission to talk about this with Altcoin Alert folks from Pizza Mind, and those guys are aware that I talk about this. And there's 2 information sources I like within iCoinPro. It's the RSI SPY, which is similar to the MFI, which I talked about on the other 3 coins we discussed, and the Buddy Coin Crawler. I'll get to that in a minute. But after you get the 1-2-3 dip training, well, how do you find these coins that are, when they're dipping, so I can get good entries? Well, this is one of the tools you can use to find it. I'm gonna reload this. I'm gonna sort. I sorted this earlier. On the RSI, the 30 value is the oversold area. So I'm looking for values below 30 on the 1 hour, and I'm gonna look at these further. Solana is the only one that really qualifies at the moment. You can use this drop-down menu and click on Trading View, but I have it up already because I was looking at it earlier. So this is the Solana chart, and this is close to a dip sequence. It's not a perfect one, but this is an interesting setup. We have a very tight squeeze and then a bubble. And then we have one dip here, breaks through the bottom of the Bollinger Band, drops again. That's a second dip. And a little break here. I would like to see a third dip, then a recovery, but instead it just goes sideways. So I'm gonna go ahead and, so this is something you guys might want to take into consideration. And I would wait for some additional confirmation on your other indicators. MFI is pointing down at the moment. Momentum is going sideways. Stochastic is up, but volume is down. So these are all contradicting each other. I might set an alert maybe down here towards the bottom of the Bollinger Band to see if we get another dip down and recovery. So this one is pretty close to a desirable setup. But if you don't want to wait, I understand. Don't really see an obvious place for a price alert. Maybe down here where this one shows up at $28 even. That could be one. Over on our 15-minute chart, got things to do on set an alert and go about our day. Let's check out divergence. And a bunch of bullish divergences have gone off, and very few of, if any, were profitable. So yeah, I mean, and there are some small profits here. Yeah, 1.2 is not bad. 0.7, this one's pretty good. If you hung in there through that dip, 4%, that's really good day trade. This one's going sideways at the moment. So the bearish ones did well. These two bearish divergences did really well. But the bullish ones only went up slightly or sideways. Okay, on the super trend, the sells did well, the buys, that probably would have been a loss. And yeah, these two buys didn't do very well. So if you leverage trade, you might want to go with the sells on the Solana. It's still trending down pretty hard. And then on our MFI, it's kind of like what we looked at, the divergence. None of these really did very well. See, it dips below the 20 here and then just goes sideways and then down. Same thing here, goes up a little bit, then down. If you just keep carving off 1%, then you could have done okay. If you're holding out for the Altcoin Alert 3% or better, you might still be stuck in those trades. So this one did well. So, and this one dipped and just broke above the 20 here on the MFI, but then it is coming down again. So when I see something like this, it dips below the 20 and starts to come back, but my candle action's down. I'll go ahead and do an MFI alert thinking it's going to drop again and then come back up. So yeah, it's real easy to do. And I think we've looked at these already. Crossing up on the 20 value once per bar close, and this is RSI SPY. And it's a long, or if you're trading both directions, you just call it RSI SPY. Okay, I'm running a little long. I went through that kind of fast. Any questions on Solana? Okay, I will do one more on iCoinPro. Let's look at the Buddy coin crawler. And this is the tool that measures the average low to the SMA line. This is the 24-hour average low. The SMA line is that pink line you've seen between the Bollinger Bands on my charts. So if I see 5%, maybe 4% or higher, that's something I want to look at because that coin's moving in the last 24 hours. They also have a current low to SMA. If there's a high value here, that's even better. Like on this one, we have Sushi with 9% in the 24 hours and almost 4% current. So we looked at Solana already. Let's look at Sushi. And the name of the tool, Buddy Coins, is something that they do in iCoinPro in that group where they choose, and I do this too, usually 3 or 4 or 5 coins to follow throughout the days, and those are your buddies, your buddy coins. So that's where that comes from. Okay, and last hour. Okay, yeah, we'll see this kind of thing when something makes a big move and then loses a lot of it. That's what happened here. Yeah, straight down, really no dip sequence. We got the, the squeeze and then the bubble, but just straight down one, maybe, might want to count that as a 2, but definitely no third dip. And it hasn't hit the SMA line yet, and it's dropping again. So this might be one that would be good for an MFI alert, like I showed you on the last one on Solana. Let's see, 4-hour. Yeah, here's a really nice spot for a price alert, 167. We're pretty close to that now. So I might even go to the bottom of the Bollinger Band here to 162. Might be a good place for a price alert. See if we get that third dip. And then on our 15-minute, for our indicators, if the MFI drops again and comes back up, that can be indicative of a 3-dip sequence, or 1, 2, 3 dip. Let's see, on our divergence, the most recent bullish divergences did really well. Yeah, over 4%. Yeah, this one did really well, almost 10%. So that one looks good. The MFI looks pretty similar from what I can see without doing each one of these. So let's see how the super trend did. Super trend had some small profits, 3% there on the buy, 2.6. Now it did really well at over 6%. So either one you could go with. Actually, the cells did well in addition. So this is one where you can right click on your super trend. Instead of choosing buy or sell, if you trade leverage, you click this one, direction change. I do this all the time. Once per bar close. That way it'll tell you each time it switches from buy to sell. And obviously you want to match these up, with your other indicators, whether you use the ones I have or ones that you like yourself. Don't ever go in just because super trend says buy or sell. You always want to match up the minimum 2 other indicators, preferably that measure different things. Momentum is different than cycle, it's different than volume, which is different than the money flow. So there's some overlap between money flow and trend, but so I dumped a lot on you there, but anyway, it's almost time to wrap this up. I'll throw this open. Do we have a question or two before we call it a night for Altcoin Alert and iCoinPro? All right, guess we're shy tonight. Well, thanks for attending the Altcoin Alert iCoinPro Monday Night Zoom. If you're watching this on the recording, thanks for doing that as well. And please check out the opportunities in the comments below. They help fund the channel. If you're in Carbon, please stick around. We will have a Carbon Zoom shortly. See you next time.
Thank you.